After a busy summer here on the farm, it was time for me and Skye the horse and Turnip the dog to set off on a big adventure to Donegal in the far north of Ireland. Our plan was to ride along the Wild Atlantic Way through Donegal County to raise funds for a new programme I'm hoping to run here on the farm. Eventually, we want to make our way along the entire Wild Atlantic Way route to its southerly end, but approach this in annual steps, adventures for years to come, given that the whole route is over 2,000 kilometres long. This year, we were aiming to ride from Malin Head to Donegal town and gave ourselves 2 weeks or so to do so. The plan was to have lots of fun and adventures along the way, but also to try and raise some money for a new programme we want to run here on the farm. It is for teenagers who struggle in school, and we set up a GoFundMe page for it, if you want to look us up. It is a long drive to Donegal from our place, so our first destination was our friend Lisa's place in County Mayo for a stopover. Even this trip took us 6 hours, so we had to stop along the way to stretch our legs. All right, just stopping for a little break. Just have a little snack, Skye, and relax, and then we'll hit the road again, just south of Ennis now. Some of you might remember Wallace, Winnie's foal from last year, who went to live with Lisa. He has grown a lot and is a sturdy 1.5-year-old colt now. As a foal, he had liked Skye very much, and he was delighted to see her again. The next morning, Lisa joined me for the trip up to Malin Head in Donegal. A very grey, rainy morning it was, and my heart sank a little bit when the weather wouldn't improve during our drive up, despite a hopeful forecast.
Sunny day.
Beautiful day in Mayo. Hit the road to Malin Head. When we eventually arrived at Malin Head, the most northerly point of the island of Ireland, the weather had turned very wild and wet. Hardly being able to open the van door due to the strong gusts, my determination was truly tested at that point. But no turning back now. So I got us all ready, and after a quick photo shoot to prove we've been here, I set off on our long, big, epic journey.
See you later!
And Lisa drove my van back to her home. Thank you, Lisa. It was an odd feeling to see the van disappear into the rain, just us three now. Skye and Turnip didn't seem to mind the weather too much, so I tried to tune in with them, which cheered me up somewhat. Just passed through Malin, crossing over this bridge. Actually looks brighter now than it was all along. Ooh! Lashing rain, completely soaked we are. And over there, somewhere behind those houses, are Malin's stables, so we hope we can stay there for the night. I can't get through by phone, but we'll just call in and hope we'll find somebody. After 3 hours of riding through the heavy rain and strong wind, through, I am sure, what is spectacular scenery, only we couldn't see it for all the rain, we made it to Malin village and found a dry place for the night. What a relief. Thank you so much to Ronan of Malin Stables for giving us shelter. Not sure how we would have held up otherwise. Not very well, I guess. So, first day done. We only got to ride about 16 kilometres because it just took forever to get to Malin Head by van, and then to get ready and riding through the rain took longer as well. But anyway, I'm so lucky and delighted that they offered me a shed in Malin riding stables. Here, hang on, I show you. This is where we are. Skye at the front, chomping away on haylage. And Turnip is still outside somewhere, tied up, lying down, resting. I'm just about to eat my dinner, just letting it cool down. Pasta. And put up, you can see I put up, my fingers in the way now. I put up a tent here in the corner of the shed. So that's perfect. Next morning, bright and early, all dried out and rested, we set off into Carndonna, and I decided to stop for a quick cup of coffee and to meet some people. So, day number 2, there's Sky, here's me. I just rode the 5 kilometers into Carndonna, and we have a quick break. Oh! So that's me back again. Sky now, good girl Sky. Sky got a bit fidgety, just impatient, waiting, and then she doesn't know her own strength, and she pulled back and actually broke her bridle. Oh, Sky, good girl now, good girl Sky. Oh, so yeah, she's never been tied up in town before, so she's doing really well. So Sky's all relaxed now, but anyway, the bridle is broken. And just by coincidence, somebody pointed out to me that there is a leather working shop across the way, and I dropped the bridle in and he said, yeah, sure, I'll fix it for you. So that's just one of the many coincidences on this journey. So Sky, we just wait 10 minutes and then you'll be ready to go again. Yeah, good girl. You are a silly lump. Really silly lump. After all this excitement and after a stretch of busy road out of town, it was a relief to hit the back road into the hills. So we are right up in the hills now on the back road into Buncrana. Those white blobs you see up there are bags for collecting turf they've cut for this winter, and the heather is all in bloom, beautiful purple. That's the little road we're travelling on. The other option was a very busy regional road with lorries and buses and whatnot whizzing past, so I prefer this any day. It means climbing up over the hill, but I'd rather work up a sweat than be knocked down by a lorry. So there we go, beautiful views. I love these really quiet roads where we can relax into a clippity-clop rhythm of moving without constantly negotiating risky situations caused by motorised traffic meeting us. Sky walking along, and Turnip. So the good thing about walking along, oh, where has he gone now? Walking along a minor road is that he can be off lead, so he enjoys that too. It was very pleasant to know Sky tucked away in the stables, safe and cosy with lots of food, thanks to Aisling of Cranagh Stables. Whilst I spent a leisurely morning stocking up on food. So very late start today. It's nearly 3 o'clock, but we want to catch the ferry across from Buncrana to Rathmallen, and we only got a lift organised in a horse box for 5 o'clock. So we had the morning off, and we stayed at Cranagh Stables. There's some of their horses, and Sky is creeping along because she doesn't really want to leave them. They're best buddies now. But yeah, we get going in a minute once we hit the road into Buncrana town and to the ferry port where we meet our lift. All right, Turnip, you're plodding along too. Good. And we were full of energy arriving at the ferry port in Buncrana, where Rachel met us with her horse box to help us across Lough Swilly. Oh yeah, Sky now. Hold on tight, Sky. Oh. Up we go. Skye loaded like a pro, and she took her first ferry trip in her own stride, gently swaying along in her horse box. The equestrian community in Donegal is very much alive and ever so helpful. Rachel had not only responded to my query on Facebook and volunteered her time and donated the ferry fare, she also had arranged with horsey friends of hers a place where we could stay for the night. Thank you. And here we are on the other side of Lochswilly, just coming out of Malin. And we only have about 8 kilometers to go for our night stop. But that's good because it's nearly 6 o'clock already. So yeah, but it's good to stretch our legs all the same. And look at the landscape, very different from yesterday. All rolling green hills. Blue sky, look at it. Well rested and fed, thanks to Francis and Maura. Right, Turnip. Okay, Skye. Let's go. Let's head north. Off we go. We set off, turning north again to explore Malin Head. When, only 20 minutes into our ride, the rain started and didn't stop for 3 hours. Lots and lots of stone ruins along the way. Pretty old stone buildings, but just been too hard to keep them going. Look at that fireplace over there. Beautiful stonework. So guess what? It started raining again. Ugh. And we're heading down there. In the distance you see Port Salon. We hope to get a nice ride along the beach, maybe. Rain or not, we'll come. In all my 26 years of living in Ireland, I haven't found rain gear yet which can withstand a constant trickle of water like Irish rain, and it always finds its way through to the dry inner layers. Never mind, by the time we reached Malin Head, the sun had come out and the strong breeze blew us dry again. Okay, Skye. Here, we made it to the lighthouse. Well, almost. We won't go in because I don't think they issue tickets for horses. But we're as close as we can get. There it is. Oh, good girl, Skye. Yeah, we'll sort that in a minute. Good girl. Yeah, she's going to the... Oh, Skye.
Head north, then make a U-turn.
Skye. Oh. Phew, taking a deep breath after a bit of a dodgy moment there. I had led Skye for a bit when she stopped suddenly, and I looked back to discover the saddle, bags and all had slipped to the side, whilst my Google navigation kept on telling me to do a U-turn. But all we packed in half an hour, and we were at our next stop in time for much needed rest and relaxation. We had a wonderful stay with Anna and Jim of Whiteshore Equestrian Services, and as it was not far to go to our next stop, we postponed setting off until the afternoon and went for a beach ride in the morning. One of those wow experiences, all perfectly captured by hobby photographer Mary Costello, who we met on the beach. Thanks for the shots, they're brilliant. Then we wound our way along the tiny quiet road south and up and over the Harry Blaney Bridge. Quite spectacular how this bridge spans high up over the water. Turnip and Skye went across like pros, reassuring me as the most nervous one. So, made it over the bridge, over there. That's the bridge behind me. You're pretty high. I'm not great with heights. Sky was alright, it was a bit noisy because of the railing along it and the wind catching in it, so she wasn't too sure, but isn't she the bestest girl? And I think Turnip hardly noticed we went over a bridge, really. So on we go. We're nearly at our stop for the night. Come on, guys. Thank you, Ryan, for taking us in for the night. Sky enjoyed the rest and food, and Turnip and I did too, for sure. It's not even 7 o'clock, but I just thought I'd treat myself to breakfast in bed this morning. I put up my tent in one of the empty stables at Gordon's Bay Equestrian, and for some reason I woke up bright and early, all rested, so I made myself tea and porridge. When you spend all day in unknown terrain finding your way around, it is so reassuring to find a welcoming, safe place at the end of the road. So far, people have been so incredibly generous and welcoming. We had an amazing ride up into the hills through Glen and then down into Termon. A beautiful back road with amazing views and lots of midges descending on us as soon as we stopped. But when you keep riding unsteadily, luckily they can't keep up. Thanks to Sinead and Darren, who organised a field next to the GAA sports ground in Termon, we had a great resting spot, and while Sky was feasting on grass, I followed a local recommendation and treated myself to a meal in a local pub, celebrating our first week on the road. Oh, look at that blue sky. Beautiful morning here, Saturday morning, very quiet. So this was our place to stay for the night. And I'm just drying out stuff in the sun. Oh, so exciting. Nearly packed up. This is my usual. It looks so chaotic, but there is an order to it. Turnip's all ready to go too. I took down the electric fence back there that separated Sky from the rest of the land. And just while I was packing up, and she took the opportunity, let me show you, to go up there. This is the GAA building that's being built here. Really nice and smart. And I don't know, can you see her? But she's somewhere in the distance over there now. So I go and get her. There she is. Come on, Sky, let's go. Hi, Sky. Do you like it here so much? Oh, yeah, come on now. Good girl. Hi, morning. 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 We rode steadily through really stunning landscape, past a peculiar spot with a sword stuck in a rock. Still haven't been able to find out what that is about exactly. I don't think King Arthur ever made it to Glenveigh anyways. Unfortunately, there was only one big road which we had to share with a steady stream of weekend visitors to the Glenveigh National Park and to Mount Errigal. But we found a lovely quiet spot on an abandoned farm for lunch with much welcome shade. Good boy. There you go. You're better now. I bet. Turnip. Yeah, good slurp of water is always good. Yes. Good boy. Many chats along the way, a Cork accent amongst them, like music to my ears, being so far away from home. Quick stop for a cup of tea, then down into Dunlewy for our next stay at Errigal Equestrian with Amy. This is usually the way I wake up in the morning. Turnip absolutely loves it that he is so close to me all the time. His waggity tail makes the whole thing shake.
Another day, Turnip. Oh, another day. Oh, another day. Another day. Oh, Turnip. Where will we go today? Will we go riding?
It was great to meet Amy, who runs Errigal Equestrian. This trip gives me such unique opportunities to meet fellow professionals in the equestrian field, learning a lot and exchanging experiences and knowledge. Thanks, Amy. A quiet morning, leaving Mount Errigal in the distance and riding into the hills north to rejoin the Wild Atlantic Way route again in Falcarra. We received a wonderful welcome from Katie and her family at Caring Koppel, a small therapeutic riding centre just outside Falcarra. While Skye sampled the local herbs and grasses and Turnip rested his blister on his paw, I set off in search of the beach for a little dip. It was a chilly enough evening and I was very happy to have my hand-knitted hat Anna in Ballyhiernan had given me to keep warm along the way. Thanks for your generosity, Katie, putting me and Skye and Turnip up for an extra day so that we could all have a rest. Skye spent the day eating grass and snoozing. Turnip ate and rested a lot too. And even I had my food in bed. But I used some of the time for repairs and maintenance and cleaning. Today is a day off for Skye and Turnip, and a little bit for me too, but I also used the time off the road for a bit of maintenance, like tack cleaning, walking into town to stock up on food and equipment and get myself a treat too, and planning the next few days ahead. I hadn't really organised any stopover before setting off because I wasn't sure of my route and what sort of distances we would manage each day. But once I decided on my next destination and put word out locally, usually it didn't take long at all for people to offer places to stay. Everyone was so helpful and supportive of my trip and looking after us so well. A very heartwarming experience, especially when feeling exposed and vulnerable in an unfamiliar area with two animals to look after as well as myself. We set off bright and early from our lovely resting place with Katie at Caring Koppel, along the coast at first, but then we were able to turn off into the hills on a quiet back road.
Come on, Turnip. Turnip, no, Turnip, no, Turnip, Turnip, no, Turnip. Oh, Turnip, come on. That's the way. Good boy. Worked it out. Right.
It is lovely when we get stopped by someone curious about what we do and where we go, and also by people who've been following our journey on social media and who are usually so excited to meet us in person. We had a good few chats in the middle of nowhere with complete strangers along the way, and often we were given generous donations for our cause, the Giddy Up and Go programme we want to launch. It was only mid-afternoon when we got to our next stop at River Cottage, Donegal, where Martina had prepared her beautiful little guest cottage for us. Grass for Skye, a soft bed for Turnip, and the entire cottage, including a warm bath, crackling fire, homemade soup and a soft bed. Thank you so much. It's only 6:20 in the morning, but I just moved Skye in front of my little cottage where I slept last night because I was a bit worried she'd run out of grass behind the garage over there, which she did, of course, because she eats a lot and she eats all the time. So I moved the electric fence, and she's just cutting the grass now in front of the cottage. There we go. She's very good at it, and she is just really, really good at actually staying in the fenced-in area. I only have 8 telescopic stakes, so that makes a small rectangle, and a small mobile fencing machine with batteries, and an earthing stake there clicking away, and I haven't touched it, so I don't know how strong the electricity is, but it keeps Sky in anyway, so that's brilliant. And she's happy out munching away. I'm going to have my own breakfast now and wait for the sun to rise. Before hitting the long road to our next stop on Critch Island, we had to call into the school that our hosts Martina and Sean's children, Annabelle and Aveen, attend. Lots of excited children awaiting us, and Sky enjoyed the many gentle hands rubbing her soft nose affectionately. She is such a gentle, friendly, sociable horse. Then we rode on, stopping on the way for grass. Right, that was a short early lunch break because it's just so midgy here that both Sky and me don't really enjoy it. So we just keep going. We had a bit of food and a little bit of a rest. Usually we have a longer lunch break of an hour or so, but no, cutting it short, just unbearable. Too many midges. Turnip doesn't seem to be affected. Lucky him. Here we plod along. Oh. And off we go. Halfway there. So, yeah, we get there nice and early for another good rest. And crossing the flight path to Donegal Airport, and Sky proved again how grounded she is, even when planes fly right above her head. Sky, I think that's the closest you've ever come to an aeroplane. It's okay, darling. It's all right. We have cows in West Cork, don't we? They're all right. Behind the fence. It was delightful to be met by our friend Malachy in Kincashla, who then walked with us across the tidal bay to Critch Island to welcome us to his home for the night. What a stunning place Critch Island is. We thoroughly enjoyed our stay. Sky was mostly interested in trimming the grass in the garden, but Turnip and me got a lot out of exploring the surroundings and the beach. Morning, Sky. Lovely sunrise. But the midges are bothering you, aren't they? Yeah, I know. Oof, they are a bit much. I know. All too soon we had to say goodbye again to Malachy, who was getting ready to launch his newest book, which I got to read as one of the very first ones. The bridge over there that connects Critch Island to the mainland, so we're just crossing back over to the mainland now after a lovely stay on Critch. We crossed over the bridge to the mainland this time because the tide was in, and then headed south. We stopped for coffee, carrots and dog treats in Donegal. Skye usually makes good use of these rest stops by putting in a little snooze. And she and Turnip usually attract crowds who want to know where we go, who we are and how to help us. The landscape in Donegal is so varied, and it is such a pleasure to be travelling at walking speed. We can see everything passing by slowly. It is nice to see so many well-minded thatched cottages here in Donegal. Some roofs had been redone with tiles or slates, but you can still see the pegs sticking out of the wall where the thatch was held down long ago. The bicycle path south of Donegal was our saviour for the day, because at some stage we ran out of back road options and faced a really busy main road.
Turnip. No horse sign on the track, but we'll go on it anyway, because look, nobody else on it. We would bother in any way.
But as there was no explicit sign forbidding horses, we just travelled on the bicycle path, which wound along next to the road. It was a hot sunny day, so I couldn't resist the ice cream sign. Also, it was only a couple more kilometres to my evening stop. Anna and Rainer, a German couple, took us in for the night. Another experience of overwhelming hospitality and generosity. A short day, which is good because it was a hot day.
Right, let's try to get over while it looks quiet. Shall we, Skye? Come on, let's do it.
Once we crossed over Guibara Bridge, we enjoyed the winding little cycleway and made sure to have regular breaks too.
Just within reach, Skye, if you step one bit further. Breathe. Out of reach for anybody else who doesn't have a big horse. Thanks, Skye, for being so tall.
Which Skye usually uses well for filling up on grass.
The good thing about this bridle is, you see, it has a bit, and that is actually just hooked on here, and then you can unhook it. I'll show you now. This guy's a bit impatient, so the bit just kind of slips out of her mouth, and you can unhook it on the other side. Nice guy, come in here. There you go. And then it's just like a head collar. There's the ring here. You can put a lead rope on. But mind you, as we know now, it isn't quite strong enough to actually tie a horse up in a strange place. This is where the bridle broke when she was tied up. Just up here. Nice guy, hold still. And then the man in the shop riveted it together again. So the leather isn't as strong as a solid head collar. And yeah, I clipped the rope in now when I let her graze and use it that way. But for tying up, I actually put my proper strong head collar over her bridle because I've learned that now. And you too, Skye, haven't you? Yeah. Munching away, and then when you're ready to ride on again, you just clip the bridle back on and off you go. So there's the bed. You can see it has these attachments on both sides. They just clip into the bridle on her head and the reins. So very, very easily changed into a head collar for grazing.
We arrived at our next stop with Jenny and Willow, complete strangers again before we met them, but they heard about our journey on Facebook and welcomed us into their little home. Thank you. It was a fantastic summer's day, so I took Turnip to the beach in Portneuf.
Now Turnip, you join me for a swim? Little dip. Well, you see how cold it is, will you? And then you'll decide. Fair enough.
But he's never been a water dog, really. So it was me on my own in the end, going for a swim whilst he watched from a good distance. The next morning, the local farrier, Heather, had kindly agreed to stop by to redo Sky's shoes. With all the road work, Sky had worn her front shoes especially, and I was very grateful to Heather to make it over bright and early on an incredibly midgy morning, not only putting new shoes on Sky in no time, but also donating her farrier's fee to our fundraiser. Thank you so much, Heather. So we set off with a spring in Sky's step. It wasn't that far to Adara, where I bought a sheepskin fleece for Sky, as her wool blanket rubbed on her back and I was worried she might end up sore. Fluffy sheep's wool protects the skin even better, so it was worthwhile the investment. Then I treated myself to coffee and some chats in town, while Sky got so sleepy with the heat and all that she nearly fell over.
Sky, oi!
Castleview Equestrian was our next stop for the night. But we arrived early enough to catch the low tide for a gallop on the beach. Thanks to Abby for taking me out. And our host Clint had even arranged for a drone to catch us on camera from the air.
Now we're on the road, it's just 9:15 Sunday morning. We had a massive fry-up for breakfast, so we are, well, I'm full up. Sky had as much grass as she could eat, and Turnip had loads of food and treats and everything. So off we go. We had a lovely time stopping over at Castleview Riding Centre, and we are heading south over those hills. If you can see them there. Shame that the weather came in, because that would be lovely views from up there. But yeah, look, you know, as long as it doesn't rain, we're grand, and it might still clear up, who knows.
This was a long day's ride, and I was so grateful that we all got a good night's sleep with Clint and his lovely family, and we weren't only filled to the brim with breakfast, but also got given a bag full of freshly baked buttered scones to nibble on along the way. It was brilliant to have local insider information on this day. The road we had planned to take was blocked, but we were given a route on an old mountain track, which wasn't much of a detour, and it treated us to a really wild and wonderful off-road part through a foggy glen and onto the moors beyond.
You can see it down below there. There's a waterfall to the left, and they're just rebuilding the road, or rather the bridge again. So we can't go past there and around the proper road. So Somebody suggested this track here. Nice walking trail. A bit steep, but we're grand. Halfway up. Guys just having a quick snack. Rain is pushing in now, but look, we'll push on just a bit more and then we are at the top. Come on, Sky. Come on, Turnip.
After what seemed a long time riding in the cold wind, we eventually reached Meenaneary, where we were met by relatives of our last hosts, who had rung ahead to instruct them to put the kettle on. How absolutely wonderful to be stepping into a warm house and fill up in front of a turf fire. I feel humbled by all the heartwarming hospitality we received along our way. Most people out there in the world are nice and kind.
We had a pretty long day. Didn't realise it would be that long. But anyway, here we are in the last, what does Google Maps say, 500 metres or so. So not very far at all. It's somewhere over there, beyond the beach, beyond the rain. So we're nearly there, Sky. Nearly there, Turnip. You did really well today. But guys, very tired. Nearly 7 o'clock. So, yeah. Bit windy tonight. Difficult to find a non-windy spot in this field. So I chose the least windy, I think, and I tied the tent to the sheep fence so that we won't get blown away tonight while I sleep.
Next stop was Muckross. It was our longest day riding, so I had just about managed putting camp up, look after Sky and Turnip, and then sank into my sleeping bag before the stars were out. Woken by the sound of the surf in the most scenic of camping spots, thanks to landowner and fellow equestrian Kate, we set off towards Killybegs. Unfortunately, there was no other option but a rather busy road. But Sky is so good with traffic. Still, we were a bit tired mentally when we arrived in Killybegs, a town I had visited on my very first trip to Ireland in 1994. It totally changed. Apart from the gulls at the seaside, maybe.
What do you think of all those gulls down there? Loads of them.
And we didn't stay long, as no one, apart from some really friendly construction workers, seemed to be around. We had to stop at a filling station, not to get diesel, but get some dog food. And I don't know how, when I came out of the shop again, Sky was still securely tied up with her head collar and rope, but had managed to break the bridle underneath in 3 different places. A mystery. We decided for a little adventure on a green track, which turned out to be overgrown.
All right, we need to see whether this will lead to a dead end or back onto a road again. Oh, look, blackberries. Oh, I might just eat some of these. Blackberries. All right, Sky. Oh, yeah. And you're eating grass? Why not? There's Turnip. Oh, there's Turnip. Hi. So that's us just on the last bit of the overgrown track. You can see Sky where she's following me there, bulldozing her way through the bracken and everything. She's very good. Come on, girl. Good, okay. Okay. There we go. Now I just turn it there. So it's the lesser overgrown part of this. Yeah. Bit of an adventure, but look, we are nearly at the end now.
When I leaned to the side to avoid a branch, the whole saddle slipped down again. So there I was, repacking. Skye is so patient.
Left turnip follow because, Skye of course thinks it's a big long snack track. And Turnip is just following on a loose lead behind us. Because, yeah, look, he'll find his own way. Now, here, that's the end of the little track.
And all in her head collar with a bit clipped on, as her bridle had become unusable.
Yes, we did.
Glad to arrive at Dean's farm in Equestrian just when the rain started. Thanks, Alex. It was so good to see you and find a perfect resting place prepared for the three of us.
That's the broken bridle, just to show you. So it broke just above where the man in Carndonna fixed it. It broke again. And then, yeah, of course that pulled out the brow band. So that's the other part of the broken bit, right through the leather. And then it also broke off the nose band, which is made up of this cord that I had covered with the fluffy sheepskin, and that just broke out of this little thing. Yeah, so not easily fixable, if at all. Yeah, oh Skye, whatever did you do?
Our last day already, packing up bright and early. Thank you, Alex. It was really nice to meet you and see your place. We had worked out a route on quiet little back roads and beautiful wooded tracks, and it didn't feel like riding towards one of the biggest towns in Donegal County at all. We cut through to the coast where Skye, after all the heavy traffic she met calmly, had her most scared moment because she spotted a herd of alpacas on a petting farm. But she got over that quickly enough, only that I missed out on my cup of coffee at the farm as I daren't stay on in case she would get upset again.
Oh, this is our last turn before getting to our destination, Donegal. There we go, nearly there.
And then, before we knew it, we took the last turn into town.
Good Skye, tired. Tired. Oh, good girl. We made it all the way to Donegal town, just having a little rest on the square.
I felt so relieved, exhausted and thrilled all in one when we reached the town square, and we stayed for a while enjoying the great sense of accomplishment. Although not many people showed interest or cared, apart from a couple of lovely chats we had. Wow, what a great journey we had, and what wonderful moments and beautiful memories. Thank you to all we met along the way for your kindness and support and donations. And now we're back home for a month already. It took a long time after our epic adventure to settle into the routine on the farm again. Turnip and Sky, of course, recovered within a day or two. My old bones took a little bit longer, but I'm already dreaming and planning ahead for next year's leg of our Wild Atlantic ride, from Donegal town to Sligo and beyond. So far, between cash donations along our journey and GoFundMe transfers, we raised about €4,000 towards our programme Giddy Up and Go already, which is just fantastic. Thank you so much for all of you who've donated. We are nearly halfway to our target of 10k. Our GoFundMe link remains open for all of you who haven't checked it out yet. Of course, I couldn't fit everything we've seen and experienced into this video, but I hope you enjoyed getting a taster of what our journey was like. My two adorable friends here and all the great people of Donegal made it very special. Thanks for watching.